can't but somehow believe and still see that a lot of higher entities are still at work. If you have a baby, right, and that baby want to move around a little bit, right, it's only going to be able to do but what you allow it to do within that space. And you might be free to make that baby feel like, yeah, go ahead. If you could do it, right, grab onto the table, walk around the table. Go ahead, play with those toys. And at that moment, that baby feels privileged. Feels like whatever that world you created for them at that moment is all theirs. And do whatever they want. Hold on. When you understand what the NAGA did with some of the older races of individuals that existed, or the older cultures of people that existed on higher wave frequencies within condensation before falling to this one, ultimately there were plans set in motion for characteristic traits. And you can still see them working today. Like, you can see how we are forced to merge DNA aspects with bending those characteristic traits from the beginning start of your present creation into other energies that are gravitating and pulling and pushing. You know, it's almost like watching something being molded, you know. And divine pretenses only get after the first completion of whatever time frame that is. They've only gotten more comfortable with working with the particular vibration that they've been dealing with from that start. So that might be, the pinpoint might be parallel to the existence of how you're living at this point. So it's like to say, how many points of existence did your universal energy travel through? How many points of existence is your universal energy connected to? Say if you had a ley line from the start of when you were created in the ether to the condensation points, each condensation point. Like, say there's a condensation point through each black hole, right? That symbolizes a time and space. Because out in space, things meld in different realities. Who's to say that the light frequencies are not connected through tether within time and space? So then it would be imperative to sit still so you can line up that energy that's coming from one particular pace. I'm talking simple semantics. Nothing super scientific at this moment. I just want you to kind of vibe with me for a minute while I'm going. You are a point of light that exists right here within this vibration. And I used to say this shit as a kid. We always looking at something. We looking down at something, or we looking up at something, only with our perception and view. There's not a creation large enough or tiny enough to look up at us, right? Besides what we see, it's not like we can jump inside of the mind of an amoeba and look outwards and see how that appears to visualize what we are in this sense. And in the same retrospect, there's only telescopes created in the ideal of how we see outward at a large scale, but not large enough to look down at us to see us for our original pretense from different aspects. So that's like saying being as large as the sun and being able to visualize what the earth seems like, what's on it and what it seems like, being as large as the whole galaxy and being able to look at the earth and see what that is, you know what I'm saying, or what the perception from that point will be. We can't do that. We can't look down, and we can't look from down up to this middle point. So it has to be some retrospect of the actual cable of connection. So from this point, knowing that I'm a light frequency and I sit here, because my life frequency is a light frequency because I can be detected by living. You give off electromagnetism in your body, so you give off a frequency. So just to know that in itself, what time frame from the date when I was born before? So like, are we studying the glimmers of time? Are we studying the glimmers of existence? Or are we just looking at what we see and trying to debate that understanding? And the reason why I say this, because I can look up and I can see a star blink every so often, but I know a body drops here every 5 seconds on this planet. Somebody dies every 5 seconds somewhere. So who's to say that's not the time frame? Like, there's a time frame that exists that we don't clock to. The time frame that exists that we do clock to, it falls into the reality that we use weekly. 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, you know what I'm saying? So forth and on, 365 days of a year. That type of time frame. But there's also a time frame that falls into existence as far as the time you were born. The astrology point from the crossover of a certain energy. It happens in light speed, so we see blinks of light. We see like shit blink, but we don't know what that blinking is. For me, I kind of had like a download of but it was like fleeting. It was like I wasn't supposed to tap that high, right, or some shit. But it was only like, it was like a fleeting thought of that's birth energy when they blink. Like during the day when the light is bright, the process is being lined up. Like, so say everybody at lunch right now, get ready, getting in line, about to eat. And then when the night falls, the visualization takes place. What is visualization? Visualization is matter. If I can see it, I can touch it. You know what I'm saying? If I can see it, I can touch it. If I can understand what I'm seeing, I can touch it. I can feel it. I can integrate with it. So who's to say that the electrical pulses is not energy moving from one space and time to another space and time to conjunct with information for that present new energy that is about to come into fruition? So the signal is a blink. So like, it's always a baby being born, and they trying to stop the babies from being born because they know, like, it's like you can't, like, how else would you stop the signals from coming? How else would you stop the, see, because it's, and plus energy is crazy. Like, it always compiles, right? It compiles on one set of energy, you know what I'm saying, depending on its main characteristic trait. So the ideal would be imperative to stay on your type of energy, right? So if you good like that, stay like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you fucking crazy, then you fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the reality. But these energies compile, and they compile over eons. You know what I'm saying? So this is where the creation started in that aspect. It was always like that. But what happens is, as the train of time and eternity changes, like a slow conveyor belt, every life that passes pushes that light to the next. You know what I'm saying? Now a new light has to be in place of where that old one was. You know what I'm saying? That's balance. That's universal balance. But it's only your energy compiled with every true feeling that you had at the moment that was able to meld with your DNA. So therefore, that electrical frequency of energy that molds you in the water that's in your body, knowing that you 75% water plus. It molds the body to be a part of whatever it's going to be or which it came from, like saying your ancestors. So now this electrical current hits the flesh body and it gives it information imperative to its existence. So then it starts to mold the body as far as where it's going to grow, mixed with the mitochondrial, and it starts to mold that body into being something subsequent from where it came from. That's old points of energy that existed. So either way, there is a tether. There is a tether that's connected within. And this is why if you're still within your existence, you can pull in more electricity because you're on a tether point. And imagine you're pulling in outside electricity, right? On your current tether point of existence. That electricity has a high vibration of information. So it starts to motivate you and move you in certain ways. What if that energy was so filled at the point every universal energy that was coming in couldn't get into the cell because of your own acceptance of outside energy? Who would you rather learn from? Somebody that's birthed now, or all your existences that was birthed every existence? Who would you rather have your teacher to be? Somebody of equal quality that came into this vibration with you? Or all of your existences from the last person, individual that died within your energy? And every life expectancy before that, every creation before that, their whole time. It's like the perfect movie. The perfect movie is starring you in all your lifetimes. Yeah, it's get crazy. Oh, we in 12 minutes. I've been cooking and we still going. I ain't gonna even hold you.